Warning: Brent and Joe, the retro show, may contain video games from the 80s and 90s, so if you're under the age of 20, you might not know what the we're talking about.
I won't beg, break, I'm going away. Every moment's one more chance to stand up or get in the way. So when I go, I want the world to know.
What's going on, guys? It is that time of season where the stores are packed with holiday shoppers trying to find the best deals. So that's what we are bringing today. We are going to be making a top 5 list of what we want for Christmas. Also, we're going to share some of the best deals going on Black Friday. Okay, so number 5 on my list that I want to have under the tree is Toy Story 2 for the Nintendo 64. Now, you guys are probably wondering, why the hell would you want Toy Story 2 on the Nintendo 64 as a present for Christmas? Well, let me tell you, I'm a big fan of Toy Story. As you could probably see in the background, I have Woody and Buzz. So basically, I'm a big fan of Toy Story, and I have the first one and the third one already in my collection. Number 2 is the only one that I'm missing, so I definitely really want to have the full collection of Toy Story. And I know there's some PC games out there that probably have different, Toy Story games as well, so I want to try to add all of them to my collection. Like I said, I'm a Toy Story fan, so that is the reason why I like to have Toy Story in my collection. Toy Story 2, I think you can find it for under $10, so I mean, it's a really cheap present, affordable, and I definitely want it.
Ho, Brent. I would agree with you. Toy Story is awesome. And yeah, I'm a big fan myself. Toy Story 3 for the PS3. You can get this for about 20 bucks used. It's not the cheapest, but it's an excellent game. I remember playing this game all the way through. It's a lot of fun. I platinumed it too. Yeah, one of the few platinums I got. This one. So, number 5 on my list. We're going to start with the Sega Genesis wireless controller. Now, I have to admit, disclosure, the 5 items that I have on my Christmas wish list, 2 of the items I already bought. I couldn't wait till Christmas. I just had to get them, and I'll explain why. But this is the one that I couldn't wait for, wireless controller. I was just getting really annoyed with the wires, and since I usually play so far back from the TV, around 15 feet, it just becomes cumbersome to have to extend the Genesis out there and have a long enough cord. So this thing solved all my problems, and I have a 1-year-old son crawling around chewing on wires, so that was another incentive to get this earlier. And as you can see on Amazon, you can get it for around $25 brand new, and I've been playing with this controller for about a month. It's from 8-Bit Duo. Well, that's what I call it, 8-Bit DO. I call it 8-Bit Duo, but I'm probably wrong, but I've been calling that company by that name for a long time. It's an excellent controller. You love it. It fits so cleanly in your hand, and it's just like an extension of your fingertips. It's really good. I highly recommend this. Yeah, that's number 5.
That's a really solid pick, Joe. I need one of those as well. But number 4 on my list, I have to go with Super Mario Galaxy 2. Now, this is basically the same reason for the Toy Story 2. I have Super Mario Galaxy on the Wii, the first one. So I would love to play Super Mario Galaxy 2. I haven't played it. And also, I definitely need to beat Super Mario Galaxy 1. But before I do that, I know I'm going to want to continue that continuation. So Super Mario Galaxy 2, I definitely want to add it to the collection.
Nice pick, Brent. I never got into the Super Mario Galaxy games on the Wii, but it's definitely on the radar. On the long laundry list. on the long laundry list of games that I need to buy. Couldn't get that one out. So, my number 4 has something to do with the Sony PlayStation Classic. Now, a lot of you gamers aren't a big fan of the Sony PlayStation Classic, but I love it. I mean, I only paid $20 for it. I got it on that Amazon Lightning deal, Amazon Prime Day, whatever the hell that was, a few months ago. I got this for 20 bucks, which was, for me, a great deal, a great deal for me. And, I've been playing with it a few times here and there. I like the lineup. Now, to further enhance this baby, I highly recommend this. It's called the True Blue Mini Pack. As you can see on the picture here, the flash drive connects into controller slot 2, and it has 4 USB slots, so you can plug in these flash drives, and each flash drive has a different assortment of games. And they're sectioned off in categories. Each flash drive has a different batch of games, and for around $85, you're getting hundreds of games, PlayStation 1 original games, and I think it's a good deal, and it's something I'm going to be getting.
Okay guys, so number 3 is Outlast Trinity. Now, if you watched our latest video of Brent and Joe, the retro show, the Halloween episode, at my number 5 spot, I picked Outlast, the original one. Now, Outlast Trinity is 3 different games. So you're getting 3 different Outlast games that are on the same disc. And it's available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well. But I think I want it for the PlayStation 4. I would definitely love to stream it for you guys one day and kind of go through it. So it's a survival horror game, and it's kind of like stealth mode, so you don't want to be seen. You don't really have any offense. So Outlast Trinity, I would love to have that as well.
Very nice, Brent. Outlast Trinity. Good deal. So my number 3 is this baby right here. From My Arcade, which you can see I'm a big fan of My Arcade units. It's about this size, about 10 inches. It's a Data East cabinet. It's got 35 games built in. All Data East ports from 80s, early 90s, and just another one of those little cabinets that I want. And you can see, I mean, it's priced fairly decent. It's not going to really break the bank. $45. I've seen it at $60 a few weeks ago, so it's good that the price is dropping around Christmas time. If you're into these little cabinets like I am, I suggest you check it out. So yeah, that's my number 3. What do you got, Brent?
Okay, now at the number 2 spot, I want Crash Team Racing. Now, this game is available on all different platforms, but I want it specifically for the Nintendo Switch. Now, there's a Black Friday deal going on this year where you can get it for $15 on the Nintendo Switch. So I definitely feel like $15 is a solid price, and I don't think I would get it any cheaper. So I would love to have Crash Team Racing for $15 on Christmas morning.
Awesome pick, Brent. You got good taste. So my number 2 is going to be this game right here, Titanfall. Now, I heard it was a really good sequel. I haven't played the original, but I'm into like sci-fi shooting games like this one, where you hop into this enormous robotic suit and just go to town shooting things up. It's right up my alley, and at a low price of $10, you can get a couple of copies of these and give them to your nephews, your son, whomever. Throw them in the stocking. $10, you can't go wrong, right? And I mean, I don't know, you don't buy used stuff for Christmas, but used, get them for yourself, $2. Not bad. And I heard it was really good, so I figured I'd let you guys know about that deal. Yeah. Titanfall.
Okay, now moving on to the number 1 spot, the main big item that I would love to have is the Sega Genesis Mini. Now, I know there's a lot of different scenarios and options you can go with for the Sega Genesis Mini, but for me, I just want the original licensed Sega type, feel, where I feel like they would do it right, and I see a lot of reviews on it, so I know it's getting good reviews. I know the price tag is a little steep, and maybe at some point it might go down eventually. So at the number 1 spot, the biggest item that I would love to have is the Sega Genesis Mini.
I love your pick, Brent, at your number 1 spot. I'm a big Genesis fan, but I'm going to play the devil's advocate to the Sega Genesis Mini. But before we talk about that, I wanted to throw in a couple of honorable mentions. Battleborn, you can get this brand new for about $6, $7, and I've been playing this for a little while now. It's really cool, a lot of fun, first-person shooter. And NBA 2K15. Now, it's an older game, but I saw that you can get this used for about $1, and I've been playing this game for a very long time. I've been playing a couple of seasons with create a character mode, and I truly love this game. It's so amazing, and for $1, come on now, you can't even get a friggin' pack of M&Ms for $1. I don't know. I figured I'd throw these 2 in there. So, now, I have an alternative to getting the Sega Genesis Mini, and it's called the Super Retro Trio. Now, the Sega Genesis Mini is great. For me, I was using my original hardware, my Sega Genesis, and I had a Hyperkin HDMI cord that I bought a few months ago, and after about 2 months of using it, the wire cracked out. It just stopped working. It started malfunctioning. It started getting sound problems, picture problems, and I troubleshot it. I plugged back in my old AV wires, and everything was fine. So I found out that it was just a wire that was crappy, and I was just pissed off because I paid like $35 for that wire. So I was like, frig, instead of I was really annoyed about that, spending $35 on the Hyperkin HDMI cable, and I couldn't go back to composite friggin' cables after getting that nice picture. So instead of buying another $35 cable for an extra $40, I just bought the Super Retro bit. So I just bought the Super Retro Trio. It's got a Genesis port, Super NES port, and an NES port, all built in one. It saves me a hellish friggin' shelf space on my TV because I'm running out of space. I don't have a lot of space, have cartridges all over the place. I'm starting to get maxed out down here in my basement. I have kids I got to share my home with. I don't have the luxury of just having, walls full of shelves with games everywhere. So I've been using this for about a month and it's excellent. And, I have the wireless dongles for Genesis controller and a Super Nintendo controller, so I can play this fully wireless. It's got two Super Nintendo ports right here, controller ports. It's got two Genesis controller ports right here, and two NES ports. And it's got a little button here that allows you to play any region, which is amazing. PAL, NTSC, and you have a little controller selector right here for Super Nintendo controller or the Genesis controller. And you can use your Super Nintendo controller for the NES as well, so you don't have to have NES controllers. And let me tell you, this thing is absolutely fantastic. You're saying, Sega Genesis Mini cost $80. This console costs about $80. Sega Genesis Mini comes with 40 games, or 42 games. This will come with nothing. However, you can purchase on eBay. They have tons of compilation cartridges. Like I have a Genesis EverDrive cartridge with an SD card built in there with 800 games. I mean, you just pop that in there and you have almost the entire Genesis library right there. It never has to come out. Right there. So for all you, young guys that never got to experience the 16-bit era, you can get yourself started from the $200. And they also sell EverDrive cartridges for the Super Nintendo and the NES. I mean, you can find them on eBay. They're not too expensive. Just an option out there. And the store closes if you want to close it. It's nice and clean. I love it, man. I'm so happy I bought it. And don't worry, you're not going to have to waste time with Q-tips and alcohol swabs trying to clean out your Nintendo cartridges, because these cartridges pop right in there and they work with no problem. I've yet to have to alcohol swab or friggin' blow out anything, Remember the days of having to blow your cartridges to get them to work on the NES? These things slip right in there and work like a charm. Excellent. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you got some gift ideas by watching this, and we really appreciate you joining us for episode 4 of Brent and Joe the Retro Show. Until next time, peace.